Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Winter Haven City Commission meeting. This is the 9th day of June, 2025. It's 6:24 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Dollison.
Here.
Commissioner Mercer. Here. Commissioner Dantzler, who is not present this evening. Mayor Pro Tem Yates.
Here.
And Mayor Birdsong.
Here. All right. We have, we're going to be trying to see where's my
invocation.
I know what I'm saying. I'm looking for my little agenda up here.
Got a couple agendas up here.
Oh, I got 2 or 3. All right, we'll be, I remembered this. Invocation by our very own Minister Abdul Al-Khatib from First Missionary Baptist Church, and we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Vanessa Castillo, MMC City Clerk. Please stand if able.
Let us pray. Dear Lord God, we come now before your throne of grace and mercy, thanking you for this day and this hour, asking your prayers, peace, and blessings on these, our commissioners and staff who have been called to lead the community in which we live, work, and play. We ask, dear Lord, that you will grant them the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and courage to make the decisions that will enable our city and its people to live, prosper, and grow in safety and unity. We ask, dear God, that in all their deliberations, that they will first think of the common good of our city and its residents. As Father's Day approaches, let us praise those fathers who have striven to balance the demands of work, marriage, and children with an honest awareness of both joy and sacrifice. We thank you for our leaders at all levels of government in our city, county, state, and throughout our nation. Now, Lord, as we enter into this meeting, we thank you for answered prayer. We thank you for your grace and mercy. May we always be guided by the spirit of community, justice, and love, and give you all praise, honor, and glory. And all of his children said, amen. Amen. Let us pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners. We have 4 proclamations that we'll present this evening. Our first one is for Juneteenth, and we have representatives from the Juneteenth Planning Committee. I think they're pretty obvious who is out there. So we'll invite them to the podium, and I'll read the proclamation. Whereas Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day or Emancipation Day, commemorates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans in the United States. And whereas on June 19, 1865, Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, to announce the end of the Civil War and proclaim that all enslaved individuals were henceforth free. And whereas, although President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863, many enslaved individuals in remote areas remained unaware of their freedom until Union forces arrived. And whereas celebrating Juneteenth honors the resilience of the African American community and renews our collective commitment to justice, inclusion, and unity. And whereas the 2025 Juneteenth Celebration Committee, in partnership with city staff, has worked to highlight African American heritage through a modern celebration that educates, engages, and inspires the community. And whereas on Saturday, June 14th, 2025, the City of Winter Haven will host its 5th annual Juneteenth celebration at Reuben Williams Sports Complex to mark this important historical event and bring together families, residents, and local officials to promote education, entertainment, and an inclusive community. Now, therefore, Nathaniel J. Birdsong, Jr., Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, does hereby proclaim June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth Day in the City of Winter Haven and encourages the entire Winter Haven community to engage in the celebration of African American culture, history, and pride. In witness whereof, he is hereunto set his hand and caused the seal of the city of Winter Haven, Florida to be affixed this 9th day of June, 2025. Signed, Nathaniel J. Birdsong Jr., Mayor. Attest, Vanessa Castillo, City Clerk.
Thank you, Commissioner T. Michael. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf, City Manager, okay.
I can be a
sorry about
commissioner
that.
tonight. I'm
That
good
too.
with it.
Hey, but good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Juneteenth Committee, Izania Zhao, thank you for being here. Let me begin with a question. What does freedom mean to you, and how do we ensure that it belongs to everyone? Juneteenth reminds us that while freedom was delayed, it was never denied. And today we stand in the legacy of strength, unity, and progress. We extend our deepest thanks to the City of Winter Haven and for its continued support to the community, the vendors, and the participants who make this celebration possible. Your commitment helps us honor the past and build a more inclusive future together. Let this day inspire us to keep moving forward. We'd like to also extend an invitation to you, the city commissioners in the City of Winter Haven, to our Juneteenth event. This weekend, we're starting out with a movie night on Friday at the Ritz, and then on Saturday, we'll be down at the Reuben Williams Complex celebrating with the festival. So please come out and help us celebrate Juneteenth. Thank you.
Mayor and Commissioners, our second proclamation this evening is for Marilee Thompson Day, and I'm going to ask Deputy City Manager MJ Carnevale to present this proclamation.
Whereas the City of Winter Haven commends and congratulates Ms. Winter Haven 2025, Marilee Thompson, on her accomplishments. And whereas Marilee is an honor student at the University of Florida, majoring in public relations on a pre-law track, and is involved in Best Buddies, Florida Business Leadership Society, Student Government Institute, Field and Fork Farm and Pantry, and is a visual supporter and is a visual supports and intake coordinator at the UF Center for Autism and Related Disabilities. And whereas Marilee's dedication to her community service initiative, Grow Together, empowers individuals to combat food insecurities with home and community gardening. To give back to her community, she is building a community garden to provide nourishing food to the students at Winter Haven High School. And whereas Marilee was crowned Miss Winter Haven 2025, a fifth-generation Winter Haven resident, Marilee has worked with local businesses, community leaders, and various service organizations to create lasting impact in her community. And whereas Marilee Thompson is an example of the success young women are capable of when self-motivation, well-rounded skill sets, and moral character come together with hard work and a desire to make a positive difference beyond oneself. This proclamation is a recognition of her exceptional accomplishments and celebrates the meaningful impact she has made in her community and beyond. Now, therefore, Nathaniel J. Birdsong Jr., Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, does hereby proclaim June 22nd, 2025 as Marilee Thompson Day in the City of Winter Haven, which is also her birthday and the day before the Miss Florida pageant. In witness whereof, he is hereunto set his hand and caused the seal of the City of Winter Haven, Florida to be affixed this 9th day of June, 2025. Signed, Nathaniel J. Birdsong Jr., Mayor. Attest, Vanessa Castillo.
Thank you so much for making the entire city celebrate my birthday. I really appreciate it. I'm very, very blessed to be Miss Winter Haven. I grew up here my entire life, and this is actually my very first Miss America title. So it's really special to me that not only, is this my first title, but this was the first place I ever called home. So it's very special to me to be able to represent the area that just gave me so much and really put me on the track to where I am now. So thank you so much. This is such an honor.
Mayor and Commissioners, our third proclamation this evening is for LGBTQ plus Pride Month, and receiving this will be Danielle Valente and Dawn Schiller with Polk Pride, Florida. Our proclamation reads as follows. Whereas Winter Haven, Florida is part of a global community in which people of diverse cultures, races, creeds, genders, and sexual identities must work together toward peace and understanding. And whereas the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer questioning, other, or LGBTQ plus residents, students, employees, and business owners within Winter Haven contribute to this vibrant, innovative, culturally inclusive, world-class community and to its diversity. And whereas various advancements have been made with respect to equal rights and protections for all people, including LGBTQ plus community throughout the state of Florida and the United States. And whereas members of the LGBTQ plus community still face ongoing discrimination based on their innate status, resulting in immeasurable human tragedy, loss of life, community isolation, and abuse. And whereas parents, families, and friends of lesbians and gays, also known as PFLAG of Polk County, envision a world where diversity is celebrated and all people are respected, valued, and affirmed, inclusive of their sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. The Lakeland Youth Alliance provides a safe space for LGBTQ plus youth and their straight allies of Polk County. And whereas to celebrate the richness and diversity of Winter Haven, Polk Pride, PFLAG of Polk County, and the Lakeland Youth Alliance conducts various cultural, educational, and entertainment activities to focus attention on the importance of acceptance and respect for diversity among us. Now, therefore, Nathaniel J. Birdsong, Jr., Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, does hereby proclaim June 2025 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in the City of Winter Haven, in honor of freedom from prejudice and bias in any form, and in recognition and in praise of those members of our community who constantly fight the battle for equal treatment for all citizens, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, race, color, creed, ethnic origin, or religion. In witness whereof he is hereunto set his hand and caused the seal of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, to be affixed this 9th day of June, 2025. Signed, Nathaniel J. Birdsong, Jr., Mayor. Attest, Vanessa Castillo, City Clerk.
Thank you. We like to celebrate Pride, to honor those we've lost, to uplift those who are struggling, and to stand together in solidarity, demanding a future where every child can grow up proud of who they are without fear of violence or discrimination. In essence, Pride is about protecting lives and celebrating the beautiful spectrum of human identity. We would like to thank you for the respect of the inclusion of all people, and also invite everyone to Polk Pride this Saturday, June 14th in Lakeland. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and Commissioners, that concludes our proclamations for this evening. Oh, I'm sorry, we do have one more. I apologize. Almost forgot him, Cliff. Sorry. I can't let the solid waste guys off the hook. That's my bad. Clyde thought he was going to sneak out without having to speak. So we have representatives from the City of Winter Haven Solid Waste Unit that are here with us this evening. Invite them to the podium as Deputy City Manager Carnevale presents National Waste and Recycle Workers Week.
Whereas the nation celebrates the week of June 17th, 2025 as National Waste and Recycling Workers Week. And whereas the city of Winter Haven has depended on solid waste service providers to keep the city clean and free of debris for over 100 years. And whereas the city of Winter Haven's hardworking waste and recycling professionals service over 19,000 residential homes and 1,850 commercial businesses per week. And whereas the city of Winter Haven's solid waste service providers impact over 50,000 residents, indicating a healthy and continually growing city. And whereas the city of Winter Haven values and celebrates our solid waste employees for their service to our community and commitment to our residents and businesses. Now, therefore, Nathaniel J. Birdsong Jr., Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, does hereby proclaim June 17th through June 21st, 2025 as Waste and Recycling Workers Week in the City of Winter Haven, and urge all citizens to support efforts and extend its sincere gratitude to all of the City of Winter Haven's waste and recycling professionals. In witness whereof, he is hereunto set his hand and caused the seal of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, to be affixed this 9th day of June, 2025. Signed, Nathaniel J. Birdsong Jr., Mayor. Attest, Vanessa Castillo.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commission, City staff. Thank you for your continued support of our solid waste department. As you can see, many of the workers aren't here. They're still out in the field collecting, but we do thank you so much for the support that you provide to us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We have no developments of note. Commissioners, you have the minutes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve the minutes of the May 7, 2025 City Commission Agenda Review Meeting, the May 12, 2025 regular City Commission meeting.
Thank you. I will now close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to these minutes may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, the minutes are adopted. We have one person that has signed up to speak, Brandon Wells. Would you please come forward, state your name and address for the record? And you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brandy Wells. My address is 183 Conch Drive, Ponciana, Florida. I'm here on behalf of Miami Nonstop Dance and Another Chance Youth Mentoring Program. I'm here because we're hosting on July 12th a youth majorette dance competition, and we're in need of the commission sponsorship. We're asking for $2,500 to help with trophies to judges for our youth competition. It will be hosted at Polk State University. This competition is what we have 30 teams have signed up from across the U.S. The last time we hosted our event at Polk State College, the grand champion was Unity Elite, which is a local team here from Winter Haven organization. This is a mentoring program. It keeps the kids off of the street. Like I said, we do this year round to give back to the kids, let them showcase what it is that they're doing for the summer. We have over 30 dance teams that are coming to the city for this event. We have teams from New York, California. We have 4 teams from Georgia. So we're definitely bringing in revenue for this event. We hosting the hotels, everything. We're bringing a lot of revenue for the city. We would love to have the city partnership with us for these youth majorette dance competitions that we host. Again, this is what I'm asking. My name is Brandy Wells. This is a grassroots mentoring program that we do. And I'm sorry, I'm nervous. It's kind of my first time presenting. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'm here. I have some information in regards. I typed up a proposal, our flyer, and also the last year grand champ who was Winter Haven dance competition. Again, these competitions we have, it brings in about maybe 1,000 kids from all over the state just coming in just to dance for our competition. But we definitely want to showcase the great city of Winter Haven for this year.
Well, as a rule, we don't allocate funds by request coming to us as a commission. I mean, we have a process where you could have applied for a grant,
Okay.
but
Again, this is my first time. I called and I asked them what is the protocol, and they told me I can go ahead and type up a proposal and present it tonight. So that's what I did. But I would definitely follow the protocol. I don't know how to go about doing it.
yes.
We'll get her information and put her in contact with staff that handle our grant and aid for future requests. I would encourage also, based upon some of the information that you share, that you're bringing people from outside the area, to contact Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing, if you're not already engaged with them.
I am.
Because they certainly, that's the type of thing that they're in place to help support.
Okay. Thank you so much.
AJ, if we could get contact information.
What time is your event?
It's all day, actually. It's on June 12th at Polk State College. The show starts at 12 o'clock and it normally ends maybe about 5.
All right. Okay, we wish you success.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ordinance is second reading. Ordinance 02514. Would you read by title only? What is your official title?
I would just say Assistant City Attorney.
Assistant
works for
City
me.
Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor.
All
It's
right.
a pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you so much. So the first formal item of business on the dais tonight is ordinance number O-25-14, an ordinance amending ordinance 23-24, the 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan by amending the future land use element, transportation element, and transportation map series to address preservation of future transportation corridors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of Scrivener's errors, providing for severability, providing an effective date. Mayor, this item is on for second reading and public hearing tonight.
Thank you. And for the record, it's Drew Crawford,
Yes, thank you. Yes,
the
yes,
Assistant City Attorney.
yes, thank you, Mayor. Absolutely.
All right, City Manager.
We need to get him a sash. I saw him a little envious when the Miss Winter Haven got up there to help identify him, maybe.
I would wear a sash.
So, Mayor and Commissioners, the 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan was adopted by the City Commission on August 28th, 2023. That plan consists of 11 elements that are outlined in your fact sheet. While the comp plan text is not intended to be revised on a recurring basis, text does periodically require amendments to address issues which arise from time to time. These proposed amendments to the future land use and transportation elements are designed to help secure and or preserve corridors necessary for the construction of future transportation projects necessary to support growth in the city and the surrounding communities. Revisions to the future land use objective 1.7 will add policy 1.7.3, requiring the city to consider future transportation corridors when amending the future land use map. And then revisions to transportation objective 1.8 will add language supporting the Florida Department of Transportation's efforts to establish a corridor for the proposed Central Polk Parkway East. City Commission voted to transmit this request to the Florida Department of Commerce, Florida Commerce as it's more commonly known, and other state and local agencies for review March 24th of this year. On April 22nd, 2025, the city did receive a letter from Florida Commerce indicating they have no objections to the proposed comprehensive plans changes. Additionally, letters offering no comments or objections have been received from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Florida Department of Transportation, and the Southwest Florida Water Management District. No responses have been received from other reviewing agencies. The Planning Commission did unanimously vote to recommend approval of this request. There were no public comments. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Ordinance 025-14 on second and final reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
No, I don't have anything on it. No. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 025-14 on second reading.
Thank you. I will now close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to 025-14 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed is by the same sign. Hearing none. 025-14 is adopted. 025-18, would you read by title only? Assistant City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Next item of business of the day tonight is ordinance number O-25-18, an ordinance amending ordinance number O-2444, appropriation of funds for defraying the expenses of the municipal government of the city of Winter Haven for the fiscal year commencing October 1, 2024, providing for severability and the administrative correction of Scribner's errors and providing an effective date. Mayor, this item is on for second reading and public hearing tonight.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, the city's fiscal policy requires an unassigned reserve fund balance of 17% of the general fund's budgeted operating expenditures. Per that same fiscal policy, any unassigned fund balance that is in excess of 30% may be transferred to the capital project fund to defray costs and cover contingencies as recommended by the city manager and approved by the city commission. In fiscal year 2024, the general fund operated with a surplus of $5,160,921, which increased the unassigned fund balance to $23,788,487. The unassigned fund balance in excess of 30% provides a surplus of $1,433,997 that may be transferred to the capital project fund to defray costs of projects and cover contingencies. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Ordinance O-25-18, approving the transfer of $1,433,997 of the general fund's fiscal year 2024 surplus to the Capital Projects Fund to supplement funding needs for the future construction of Fire Station Number 5. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Motion to approve ordinance O-25-18 on second reading.
Thank you. I will now close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to O-25-18 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, open the commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, ordinance O-25-18 is adopted. We have no items for the consent agenda. Resolution R-2527, would you read by title only, Assistant City Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. This is resolution number R-25-27, A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, approving a public transportation grant agreement between the City of Winter Haven and the Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, under contract number G3C49 and financial project number 453-833-1-94-01 for the funding for the taxi lanes rehabilitation, taxi lanes rehabilitation at the Winter Haven Regional Airport, Gilbert Field, and authorizing the city manager and appropriate city officials to execute said agreement and to take all other necessary actions regarding said project and agreements related thereto, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, Winter Haven Airport is seeking approval of a grant from FDOT to fund the design phase of a rehabilitation project for the aging taxi lanes serving the aircraft T hangar in the south quadrant of the airport. This is highlighted on the image before you in the areas that are orange, yellow, and I'll say purple, pink, as well as the small section listed as number 82. According to FDOT's statewide airfield pavement management program, the PCI or pavement condition index for these taxi lanes averages 49, which is classified as poor. Project will include milling and overlaying the existing asphalt pavement as well as replacing the pavement markings. If approved, the grant for the construction phase, again, this evening is just for design, but the grant for construction phase is expected to be presented to the commission for consideration at some point during fiscal year 2026. The estimated cost for this design portion is $150,000. That includes 90% funding from the FAA, totaling $135,000. 5% through FDOT through this public transportation grant agreement, or $7,500. The city will contribute the remaining 5%, again, $7,500. Staff recommends City Commission approve R25-27 and authorize the city manager or his designee to execute the subject grant agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation and take all other necessary actions incidental to the implementation of same.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve resolution R-25-27.
Thank you. I will close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to R25-27 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers by the same sign. Hearing none, R-25-27 is adopted. Resolution R-25-28, would you read by title only, Assistant City Attorney?
Yes, Mayor, this is resolution number R-25-28. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, approving a grant agreement for local government cybersecurity grant program between the City of Winter Haven and the Florida Department of Management Services, DMS, under contract number DMS 2425-426 and catalog of state financial assistance number 72.016 for funding for the development and enhancement of cybersecurity risk management programs, and authorizing the city manager and appropriate city officials to execute said agreement and to take all other necessary actions regarding said project and agreements related thereto, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, the Local Government Cybersecurity Grant Program is a competitive grant funded through Section 200 of the enacted Florida FY 24-25 General Appropriation Act. It equips local governments with non-recurring software, services, and solutions designed to enhance their cybersecurity posture, protecting both critical infrastructure and citizen data. Winter Haven was awarded a cybersecurity service capability grant that focuses on external-facing asset discovery, content delivery, and email security. The State of Florida Department of Management Services will expend funds for the provision of cybersecurity service capabilities for the City of Winter Haven. There's no financial impact to the City of Winter Haven, and the estimated value of the services is $50,000. Staff recommends the City Commission adopt Resolution R-25-28 and approve the subject grant agreement with the State of Florida Department of Management Services contract number DMS 2425-426 and authorize city manager or designee to execute said agreement and take all other necessary actions incidental to the implementation of same. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve resolution R-25-28.
Thank you. I will now close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to Resolution R-25-28 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. We have two ordinances, first reading. The second reading will be on June 23rd, and we won't be voting on these tonight. Ordinance O-2524, would you read by title only, Assistant City Attorney?
Mayor, this is ordinance number O-25-24, an ordinance extending the corporate limits of the city of Winter Haven, Florida, so as to include therein additional territory lying contiguous and adjacent to the present boundaries of the city of Winter Haven, Florida, describing said additional territory, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. General location, 500 4th Street East, Juanita, and an adjacent unimproved right-of-way. The area covered by this request is 13.89 plus or minus acres. Mayor, this item is on for first reading tonight.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is a request by the city for the commission to annex one parcel totaling 13.39 plus or minus acres, as mentioned, located at 500 4th Street East in Juanita, and the adjacent unimproved right-of-way totaling 0.19 plus or minus acres. This property was purchased by the city in January of 2025. There's no taxable value for the property. Business impact estimate is not required as a result of this ordinance. Staff recommends the City Commission approve ordinance O-25-24. This will go to second reading at your next commission. Again, no vote required this evening.
All right, thank you. Even though we are not voting, if there's anyone that would like to speak to this ordinance, may do so at this time. All right, moving right along, ordinance O-25-25, would you read by title only, Assistant City Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. The last item of formal business on the dais tonight is ordinance number O-25-25, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, relating to municipal services impact fees, amending sections 5-127 and 5-128 of Article 10, Municipal Services Impact Fees of Chapter 5 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, by amending and adopting updated municipal services impact fees and charges effective October 1 of 2025, or as otherwise provided herein, articulating legislative intent and making findings, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, for severability, for codification, and for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing for an effective date. Mayor, this item is on for first reading tonight.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, we had a robust discussion on this item during Wednesday's agenda review and then also in the special workshop. We do have with us this evening Mr. Joe Williams with Raftellus. And certainly he can expand on this, but for reference, on or about February 2025, Raftellus Financial Consultants Inc. Commenced on behalf of the city the performance of a study of the city's municipal impact fees. Final study was dated May 29th, 2025, and has provided a thorough fiscal analysis of our police, fire, parks and recreation, and library services, including but not limited to appropriate levels of service and localized data available within 4 years from the current impact fee update, in order to recommend to the city as to how the city may adequately address the capital costs of infrastructure and equipment permitted under the Florida Impact Fee Act as codified in Florida statutes. The study recommends that the city revise its current rate schedule for municipal services impact fees to adjust and increase the effective rates for fire, parks and recreation, and library impact fees, and to decrease police impact fees to net amounts that are equitable, provide that for reasonable recovery without exceeding the current costs of expansion-related capital improvements associated with provision of the respective municipal services, all as permitted and allowed within the Act. As we discussed during the special workshop last Wednesday, the fire and police impact fees apply to all property types to include commercial as well as residential. Parks and recreation and library impact fees only apply to the residential properties. Those are outlined within your schedule and in your fact sheet. We will have another public workshop on June 18th as required to discuss these prior to it going forward for second reading. I did mention there is a recommended to decrease the police impact fee. If on second reading, the recommendations are favored by the commission in a supermajority, meaning 4 of the city commissioners, 4 of the 5 at a minimum, the police impact fee reduction would take place effective immediately. The remaining adjustments for Parks and Recreation, for libraries, and for fire would take effect 90 days later. The intent is that those would take effect on or about October 1st of 2025. Again, Mr. Williams is here, certainly able to answer questions. Joe, did you want to speak to the police and follow up on that from the other evening? We have that information available.
Good evening, Joe Williams from Raftelis. Nice to see you all again. And I think there is a presentation slightly updated, but it's very similar to what we discussed relatively at length just a few days ago. And for police, we did review again, and the 2003, 2004 was the implementation of the police headquarters building, which still has been determined to be adequate to accommodate additional staffing moving forward over the next 5 to 10 years. Really, because there's not a major need in building expansion, that's why we're seeing the fee decrease at this point in time. If you come 4, 5, 6 years or even sooner, and it is determined that a police building may be warranted, expansion, major upgrade, you could look at the fees again to right size them to make sure that you're collecting fair share from new development. But I'd say at this point, it's a good problem to have where you're not needing to make significant investments there. You're making significant investments elsewhere, and that's reflected in the outcome on the fees. So again, if there's any further questions or we want to look at some of the slides, we can certainly do that. There's going to be 2 more opportunities
Any
for
questions? All right,
Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, just to, again, I think I can say with confidence, our intent going forward, because impact fees as they are governed by state law now cannot be indexed to increase year over year as they had been when these were first implemented. So the intent going forward is that on likely a 3-year cycle to go back and do additional impact fee studies to again, assess what is the cost of development, what is the need for additional infrastructural assets, what is the projected growth to stay very much in front of what those costs will be.
Okay, thank you. Even though our second reading will be on June 23rd, if there's anyone that would like to speak to this ordinance, you may do so at this time. Seeing none, we're moving right along. We have no.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that?
Oh,
Just
I'm
because
sorry.
we did, no, you're okay. We did talk about, supermajority is needed. So are we sticking with that June 23rd date or?
At this point, we have everything advertised for that, and is if there needs to be a continuance, certainly if there's not sufficient commissioners here, for some reason we were down to a smaller number, I would likely recommend a continuance of that, but I'll know more as we get closer to that date.
All right, okay. We have no new business, so we're down to Commissioner Liaison reports. Commissioner Mercer.
I did 3 teams meeting. One was with the Winter Haven Risk the management meeting. Also, I did the PRWC tech team on Teams, and I did the PRWC conservation on Teams. So, but I've forgotten if I did anything else.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Dollison.
Good evening. I was able to attend the Planning Commission meeting, as well as the Winter Haven Rotary Club celebrating 100 years of service. Gala was just really a great time of celebrating the great work that Rotary does in our city. Also able to be there for the grand opening for the Legoland Sea Life. And that is a beautiful presentation. I'm sure many will come from far and near to see that. It is a highlight, I think something really worthy of taking the time to come to this great city to spend time at Legoland, but also enjoy the city of Winter Haven. Also would like to say yesterday was a great celebration, of course, on the day of Pentecost, but also we celebrated our sister Betty Smothers, who's in our audience. And I just want to say happy birthday to her publicly. And for the reason that she is a faithful attendee here in our commission, as well as a faithful member of the First Missionary Baptist Church. God bless you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you. Just a couple things. God, I'm getting old.
Oh, come on. Come on. Give me a break.
Attended the Winter Haven Rotary Club celebration as well on the 100 years of service. Also had the opportunity to attend the Legoland Sea Life Aquarium, and was fortunate enough to take the target audience that lives in my house to that event. Brady's 4 years old and he loved it, petting the starfish and everything. So I like the fact that it wasn't just, salt water, it was fresh water. It had, what you can find here locally in our chain of lakes, and drive a couple hours east or west and you find the other fish that you can go after. So, oh wait, no, it's not a fishing event. It was educational. I never go for any of those fish. I'll get emails from PETA. So, I had one other thing I wanted to mention. No, never mind.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. I will have a few things. And I'll start with the sea life. And I've gone to a lot of aquariums, Tampa, St. Pete. And this one was really unique. I really enjoyed it. And they had something in there that I haven't, and it was hiding, that I haven't seen at any of the other aquariums, and that's an octopus. You don't, I mean, I don't see no, and I'll be looking for them, but you don't see them. But like has been said, there was saltwater and freshwater sea life out there, which was really great. And I mean, the way they did it, I mean, I'm going back again because I had to rush through. I'd like to take a little bit more time because I'm a kid at heart, really. I loved it. The Rotary 100-year celebration, I attended that and had some little greetings, and so I enjoyed that. And finally, I attended a retirement celebration for one of our workers. And I really like going to the retirement celebrations because when people have worked and served our city well for so long, and when they're retiring, it's just a great honor to be in their presence and to wish them well. And Jamie did say a few things to me that he thanked me for some conversations that we had years ago. And so it was just really a pleasure to see him, to go out and to be physically looking really good and ready to retire. So that's it for me. I just have one other thing that I would like to ask to the staff, and Katrina's not here. I'm just wondering, T, there were several things that we were concerned about in Tallahassee, bills and So,
Still watching, still going through budget conference and negotiating back and forth. They have a framework for the budget as to how it's to lay out and what some of their limitations are. But we will report back on that. We are watching very closely the signature of bills that go forward to the governor. You get an update, I won't say daily, but probably every other day of bills that have been presented. And we review those lists, identify the ones that we were watching, and then wait to see signing off. There was recently one last week that pertained to the health and safety of firefighters that was signed last week, and we're familiar with that and understand the impacts that has to us and the benefits as well. I will say that we did send, following Wednesday night's meeting, your agenda review meeting, we forwarded directly to the governor's office a correspondence that I believe you were all copied on. You signed it, but I think you also got a copy of it that spoke to our request for the governor to veto Senate Bill 180, which is the emergency response bill. We're very supportive of anything to strengthen the emergency response capabilities and efforts here in the state of Florida. But in that particular bill, it just went too far with restricting us on being able to make any decisions pertaining to land development issues that come before you. So that letter did go out, and we'll continue to wait to see what happens with that.
okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Deputy City Manager?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Oh,
Thank you.
are we going this side?
Oh, I meant, well, the assistant city attorney don't get her. No, Drew, if you have anything.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me tonight, Mayor.
Yeah.
I do
And I
have-
just would like to say that we're for John.
Yeah.
Mother, we are praying for his mother. She's having some issues, and so he's there. And she's quite aged, 96 years young, and so.
I'll pass that along for you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, just want to remind everybody of the fantastic events that your Juneteenth celebration committee, in partnership with our city staff, have planned for this weekend. We hope to see you there Saturday. That event begins at 11 a.m. and goes until 4. Betsy was here earlier from the chamber, so I guess that signifies that we'll have great weather. If not, that's a Chamber of Commerce responsibility. I jokingly smacked Mr. Carnevale when you mentioned the octopus, because I have been vying to make the octopus our unofficial city manager's office mascot, because it takes at least 8 arms to encircle all the different issues that we're wrangling with at any time. So as soon as we find a good image of it, I think we're going to head off and get that tattooed somewhere and officially adopt that. So that's all I have this evening, sir.
Nothing this evening, sir. Thank you.
City Clerk? Deputy City Clerk's not here.
Mr. Mayor, I had the Haines City recently passed an ordinance for the smoking.
In the
public
parks?
place, in the parks. And I know when we had that discussion, it was with the exception, which was not mentioned, that cigars. So is that a statewide?
That is, yes. So the authority that has been granted to municipalities and counties, keep in mind that prior to the state passing that legislation, I think it was in 2023, it specifically pulls out from your regulatory authority cigars.
Right.
So you can regulate on cigarettes and vaping devices, but you can't do anything with cigars at the local, meaning municipal or county level. That's how it's written into the statute.
Yeah, that must be a powerful lobby. for this reason. I don't know how you can smoke a cigar without, so I don't, you say a non-smoking, but if I come up with a, cigar, there is no fine or nothing that can be done, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Just want to be clear.
Unfiltered cigars.
Unfiltered. So that, the Swisher Sweet or something that has a plastic tip to it, that doesn't fall within that category. These are typically your hand rolled, traditional cigars are what we are preempted from having any enforcement on.
All right, anyone else? Emergency matters not received for the agenda. A motion to adjourn. We stand adjourned.